F1 penalties? What really gets you hurt? A checkered flag falls, fireworks pop, and then the camera cuts to a quiet room with 4 stewards and a PDF. 10 minutes later, your podium has moved, your hero is fuming, and the crawl at the bottom of the screen looks like a tax return. That swing isn't chaos, it's the rulebook doing its job. Stay with me because by the end, I'll give you a one-line translator for any steward's note so you can predict the punishment before it lands. Penalty map equals what plus where plus when. Arrow how much. Live fire. Penalties during the race. Black and white, then the bill. Racing rules start with manners. Chop late, weave twice, force someone off, or repeatedly exceed track limits. And you'll see the black and white flag, the sport's final warning. It's a public, we sold that. Oh, keep pushing and the clock starts charging you. Time penalties, 5 second, 10 second. These are the most common. They're either served at the next pit stop, sit still while mechanics glare at the stopwatch, or added to your race time after the finish. 5 seconds is the sport's parking ticket. 10 seconds is the we're serious version. Both are brutal if the field is nose to tail. Serve in pit equals standing still. Serve post-race equals added to total time. Drive-through and 10-second stop and go. These are the race killers. Drive down the pit lane at the limiter with no service allowed. Or worse, stop for 10 full seconds before anyone can touch the car. You'll only see these for big racecraft sins. Unsafe releases that nearly clobber someone, ignoring delta during VSC/SC. Or gaining/keeping places illegally and refusing to give them back. Unsafe release, pit lane speeding, and the yellow-blue flag world. Pit lanes are policed like airport ramps. Leave into traffic? That's a penalty. Speed in the lane? Penalty. Ignore blue flags while being lapped? Penalty. Pass under yellows or fail to slow for double yellows? That's where drive-thrus and harsher calls live, because marshals' lives are non-negotiable. Track limits? The white line is the track. Put all 4 wheels beyond it repeatedly and the sequence goes. Warnings? 5 seconds, 10 seconds? Reset and repeat. Qualifying the lap is simply deleted. In races with fast off-camber exits, think Austria, Quali, this can be the story of the day, causing a collision versus a racing incident. Stewards grade intent, room left, and control. If you lunge with no hope or squeeze with nowhere to go, expect time plus license points. If both drivers could have done more, you may see no further action. The key is consistency with the current driving standards guidelines, especially on leaving a car's width at corner exit. Attacker must be largely alongside by apex. Defender must leave a car's width on exit. Safety car and VSC violations. Break the delta, overtake the safety car, pass before the line at the restart, or hang back to create a gap. And you're buying a ticket to the penalty menu under AC. Pitting is cheaper in seconds, but tires and brakes go cold, so the outlap is a high-wire walk. Fix it or park it. If your car is shedding bits or a front wing end plate is flapping, the black and orange meatball flag orders you in. Ignore it and you can be disqualified. Safety beats strategy every time. Cold brakes plus cold tires equals long pedal, long sigh. The 2 silent taxes, tire and battery. Even without refueling, mass and energy shape penalties. Burn your tires fighting a battle you can't win, and you'll drift into track limit strikes. Mismanage state of charge on a restart, and you'll defend without shove. Get desperate and risk a clumsy block. Penalties often arrive 2 corners after a bad energy decision. The weekend and the paperwork, before and after Sunday. Parc Fermé equals don't touch it. Once qualifying starts, setup freedom evaporates. Touch the wrong thing or swap a sealed part, and you'll start from pit lane. Miss minimum weight, floor plank wear, or wing compliance. That's disqualification. Car illegal is the sport's coldest line. Fast laps don't save you from a rule you fail to meet. Grid drops and component counts. Engines and gearboxes are rationed. Add extra power unit elements or a fresh gearbox outside your allowance, and you drop places on the grid. Often 5 or 10 spots, sometimes more on the first breach. Teams game this by taking penalties at tracks where overtaking is easier. It's legal chess, not scandal. Impeding in qualifying. Block someone on a hot lap, camp in the fast lane at pit exit, or crawl without awareness, and you'll earn grid penalties. The stewards check throttle traces, mirrors, and radio. Intent matters, but consequences matter more. License points, reprimands, race bans. Each offense can come with penalty points on the super license. Hit 12 within a rolling 12 months and you're banned for a race. Full stop reprimands live one shelf down. 3 reprimands in a season, with at least 2 for driving, can trigger a grid drop. Drivers track these like pilots track hours. The best know when they're 1 point from a nightmare. After the flag, time added and results rewritten. Not every penalty is served live. If an offense is spotted late, impeding, unsafe release, pit entry line, tire usage, the time gets bolted on after the race. That's how a P6 becomes a P9 on Tuesday. It feels cruel, but it's also how the sport keeps fairness when chaos hides the first time around. Appeals, reviews, and why. Right of review isn't a reset button. Teams can appeal, or if genuinely new, significant, and relevant evidence appears, they can request a right of review. But panels care about 3 things: clarity of the written rule, potential performance gain, and safety. If your case lives in a protected zone, single-source parts, engine integrity, controlled aero, the odds of a big rollback are slim. The big guns: integrity, money, disqualification, technical infringements equals binary. If the car fails a measurement, weight, fuel flow, wing flexibility, plank wear, the penalty is almost always disqualification. No points, no parade, no, but we were fast. Engineers live in microns for a reason. The stopwatch forgives, the scrutineer's gauge does not. 0.00 millimeters tolerance left. Cost cap and sporting sanctions. Shot! Breaching the financial regulations is no longer just a fine. It can mean reduced wind tunnel and CFD time, limits on aerodynamic testing, and even points deductions. Those hurt for months because they slow development rather than a single Sunday. Minor breaches, under 5%, still carry teeth. Material breaches can, in theory, go as far as exclusion. The message is simple. Spend within the box, win within the box. Conduct that crosses the line. Manipulating a race outcome, instructing dangerous acts, or behavior that damages the sport's integrity lives in the harsh end of the scale. Big points hits, suspensions, or bans. The social era amplifies this. One radio clip can move a sponsor call and a steward's mood. If it risks people to rig a result, expect the hammer. The human side: pressure, consistency, and why fans get confused. Different stewards rotate through the season. That's why F1 publishes driving guidelines and stewarding summaries to anchor decisions week to week. Still, context matters. Gravel outside a corner changes what leaving room means. A trivial tap at 70 miles per hour is not trivial at 170. When penalties seem inconsistent, you're often looking at different risk envelopes wearing the same rule number. The one-line translator, put this in your notes. What changed the car's environment? If the answer is safety, ignored flags via CSC, expect drive-through or worse. If it's fairness, gained or kept advantage, repeated track limits, impeding, expect 5-second, just 10-second, or grid drops. If it's legality, technical fail, Parc Fermé breach, expect disqualification or pit lane start. If it's integrity, charge money, cost cap manipulation, expect months-long sanctions, aero testing cuts, points deductions, suspensions. 2 quick case studies, how it looks on a Sunday. Case 1. Track limits chaos. On circuits with fast, wide exits, stewards run the 3 strikes race system. Warning, then 5 seconds, then 10. Then the counter resets. A midfield driver collects a 5-second late, serves it at the stop, and drops into traffic. He pushes, overheats the rears, and collects the next strike. Penalty points follow only if the driving crosses into unsporting. Otherwise, the clock alone does the punishing. Case 2. Impeding in Quali. A driver hesitates in the fast lane, misses the mirror call at turn 8, and ruins a rival's final flyer. The data shows a slowing car in the racing line and no credible escape route taken. Result: 3-place grid drop. It feels small until the pack is tight. 3 rows on Sunday is the difference between clean air and a DRS trained team's drill radio codes and traffic maps to stop this. But pressure plus tires on the edge still makes it happen. Time kills races, grid kills weekends. Sprint and format nuance. Penalties follow you across formats. A grid drop from qualifying carries to the Grand Prix unless specifically applied to sprint. Sprint incidents can also earn license points that count toward a ban. Parc Fermé is tighter on sprint weekends. Touch the wrong part between SQ and the race, and you're starting from pit lane. The best teams treat sprint Saturdays as risk management puzzles. Score without collecting license points you'll regret in 3 months. Turn penalties into predictable TV. If this made stewarding readable in real time, hit subscribe so the algorithm knows you want more smart F1 explainers. Drop a comment. Which penalty felt harsh or fair this year and why? I'll feature the sharpest takes next upload. Want to power deeper visuals and side-by-side telemetry? Super thanks is there. Always optional, always appreciated. And if you want early outlines and members-only breakdowns on race weeks, hit join. The next video, a clean visual guide to how stewards grade racing incidents versus racing room, corner by corner.